Travel back in time to the 80s, reliving the laughter. The heroes.
Pick up your phone and call the professionals. Go, Ghostbusters.
And the honesty.
What's up, Norm? My nipples. It's freezing out there.
Because just like you, we're stuck in the 80s.
Sure, it's not 1985 right now, but who knows what tomorrow will bring.
Hey, welcome to Stuck in the 80s, live from Punta Cana again here at 80s in the Sand. Hey, it's Spearsy, and I'm here with my co-host for the week. It's Curtis, a.k.a. C-Rad.
Hey, 80s Nation, how's it going?
So, apparently after we posted our last show, Brad in L.A., who couldn't make it this trip, he didn't love the nickname C-Rad for Curtis, but I say it's an homage to the master co-host himself.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, I'll forever be in B-Rad's shadow. So Brad, dude, it's not intended as a, it's not intended to be a slam or anything. It's an homage.
It's an homage, yeah. So we last recorded on Monday, and thanks to numerous technical difficulties we have here with Wi-Fi and with Dominican beer, it wasn't uploaded until sometime Tuesday, so maybe so much has happened since then. Speaking of the beer, Dave August requested a review of Presidente beer. The Presidente beer appears to be the only beer we have on tap here at the beautiful Breathless Resort in Punta Cana. If you could describe Presidente beer in 2 words, C-Rad, what would it be?
Drink a lot.
They nickname it here Dominican water, and that's not too far from the truth. It tastes great. I mean, it's a Pilsner, it's your typical Caribbean Pilsner beer, and they literally carry it around in trays. Like they'll have a tray of like 10 cups, and they just keep handing them to you all day long. And so, on any given day, we probably have like 15 or 20 each.
Sure, yeah.
So, and it doesn't appear to be heavy in alcohol. Or
not at all
contain alcohol whatsoever. So it's kind of like, it really does serve the purpose of water here because it's ridiculously hot and humid here this week. It's highs in the high 80s when humidity is approximately 120%. In fact, it's raining right now, which is why we're indoors in our very echoey room. We were going to be downstairs by the bar recording today's podcast, but it's raining like hell right now. So back to the room it is.
Yeah, I've been back to the Presidente beer. I've been mixing it up with having other drinks. There's a nice little drink that they make here called Blue Hawaii that looks like I call it the blended Smurf. That's what it looks like.
Yeah,
and that's very good. I've also had Coco Loco, I think.
Loco, yeah.
And what was the other one?
There's something here that's called, like, it's not marijuana, but it sounds like marijuana. It's like Jamba or something like that. It's
or Mama Wana. I can't remember.
Something like that. And it's got rum and it's like 2 other things, and then what looks like freshly mowed grass in it. And there's some red liqueur in there as well. It looks awful.
Yeah,
I haven't touched it yet. It seems like the very thing that bad decisions are made of.
Yeah, our friend Rod from the 80s Cruise was talking to me last night, and he said it tastes like shit.
Oh my God! Speaking of which, so we're now on day 6 of the trip, and the alcohol consumption has begun to catch up with some people. Yesterday at the pool, we were doing our trivia pool session, and right afterwards, somebody basically passed out, like in her chair, and they ended up taking her away, like in a wheelchair.
Yeah. It was kind of scary there.
Yeah, but anyway, so let's get back to what we're here to talk about. The music that's happened since we last talked. Monday night, Howard Jones performed he did. If you've seen him perform, he usually always does his greatest hits. He mixed in a lot of deeper cuts this time, but he finished with "Things Can Only Get Better," which evolves into this amazing like kind of dance mix. And like the whole house was like the ballroom where all these things take place is like on the second floor of the lobby. And when it's really bouncing, the whole floor starts to shake, like you're on a trampoline or something like that. It's a real surreal quality. Tuesday night, Loverboy performed. Again, greatest hits. But there was a couple songs I'd never heard before. And one of them was this song called It's Your Life from the album Get Lucky back in 1981. And it was kind of weird. I kind of connected to it in a way I didn't expect. Now, I didn't know what the song was about. The only thing I kept hearing over and over again was, "It's your life, do what you like." And so I kept like trying to seize on that because, I mean, it's no secret that I like to embrace my inner Eeyore and stuff like that. And for some reason, I was connecting to that. I looked up the lyrics later on, and I realized it's really a song about two people fighting, and not agreeing on anything. And so that's not really the message I was trying to take away from it. But between that and hearing Howard Jones singing, new song, I don't want to be hip and play by the rules. I don't, not under the thumb of a cynical few. I mean, there's a lot of positive messages going on here this week. It's really kind of affirming.
Yeah, and Loverboy actually, Mike Reno mentioned that several people requested that they play Queen of the Broken Hearts, and they did play that.
Oh yeah, and that was like bucket list for me. I was. I've seen Loverboy now, I think 3 times over the years, but I've never seen him do Queen of the Broken Hearts. So I got a little teary. Like that was like I could cross that off my list. So that was kind of nice. Last night, Tom Bailey in Berlin performed, but due to an excessive amount of sun and Dominican water, I fell asleep in my room like around 7:30 and missed the night's entertainment. Plus, I think my body just needed some sleep after this week. So Curtis will have to tell you how that went. So Tom Bailey, how was he?
Oh, he was great, and I was glad I had the opportunity to see him because he was on the cruise this past the 80s cruise this past February, and he performed the first night, but he was kind of slightly ill, I think, and I was in a situation where I had several people traveling with me, and I couldn't find any of them, so I ended up leaving his show early. I didn't see the whole show, so I was glad to be able to see him perform here, and he same type of thing. He did all of his hits, and even the more obscure songs were really good as well.
Yeah.
And
did he close with "Hold Me Now"?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody went nuts when he started playing that. So.
Yeah. God.
And the light show was really good, and in his band. I mean, he's got like two women in his band. No, I'm sorry, 3 women. He's got 3 women backing him.
Nice.
Yeah. And so that was good. And then everybody had to leave the auditorium because they had to set up for Berlin, and so we all went down for the costume contest downstairs for the TV Icon Night.
What were you dressed up as?
I was dressed up as Dr. Johnny Fever, but the mustache I ordered to wear with the costume made me look more like Ron Burgundy from from Anchorman. And I posted my picture on Facebook, and somebody commented and said that they thought I was Mike Ditka.
Oh man, that's not cool.
But I was so proud of myself. I had the Black Death T-shirt, and I had a little WKRP button, and I had another one that said, 78. I survived the 78 turkey drop. You remember that? Remember that episode?
Oh yeah, as God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly.
Yeah. I mean, I know that's late 70s, but WKRP did go over into the 80s.
Yeah, sure.
And the costume contest was great. The winner was Bob Bennett, who dressed up as the MTV astronaut. And when I saw that costume, I came up to him and I said, "Dude, if you don't win this contest tonight, I'm kicking somebody's ass because it was just brilliant."
I saw the photos this morning when I woke up like around 3 a.m. when I realized that my nap had run a little late, and I was looking at the photos and I saw Bob dressed as the MTV astronaut, and I I was real happy for him because I thought, great idea, but I was really pissed because that was my idea for the costume night for Pop Icon for the 80s cruise. Mm-hmm. And I had been planning on that. And I haven't bought anything for it, thankfully, so I'll have to pivot and find something else. But it was just a matter of time before somebody figured out that idea.
Right.
So,
I mean, he when Tom Bailey was performing, he had performed a couple of songs, and then Bob came in the room and like made his grand entrance, and he was walking real slow, like he was on the moon, and it was like everybody's head just turned and gravitated towards him. He actually had like a several pieces of PVC that he had in his luggage that he connected together and put the MTV flag on.
Oh man, that's so smart.
Yeah, and so at any given point during the concert, you could always tell where he was because that flag was moving around in the crowd.
Oh, nice.
And then so at times the spotlight would hit it. And kind of wonder if Tom Bailey might have thought he was being upstaged there a little bit.
Yeah.
Probably not, but.
So how did the Berlin show go? Did they open up with No More Words, Masquerade, and their other hits?
Yeah, it was No More Words, Metro, and
Masquerade.
like I said, Masquerade.
Yeah. I think that's what sets up. They always get such kudos, and rightfully so, because they put on an amazing show. But I think what makes the difference is they open up with 3 big hits. Mm-hmm. And so the crowd's just going crazy. I mean, they could play pretty much anything at that point, and people would still be on board.
Right.
I think they found the magical formula for that.
Yeah, and I believe the 4th song they played was the one about about her, she gave the setup about her son being in the military.
Oh yeah, like Flames.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they did that one, and they had the video playing in the background with all the soldiers, and
that's
some
nice.
People commented that they got kind of choked up during that.
Yeah. That's a trivia question for day 4 of our trivia sessions here. So,
cool.
Speaking of which, so trivia. That's what we're here to do in Punta Cana for 80s in the Sand. We've had 2 more trivia sessions since we last podcasted. We had one indoors at the Tom Tom Club, and then we had what I was kind of, I wouldn't say dreading, but I was seriously stressing, which was they wanted us to do a poolside trivia session, and many reasons for me to be nervous. One, the weather here is like, sunny one minute, rainy the next, and it's kind of unpredictable. And if it did rain, we were supposed to be moved indoors, but that would have been just a total mess. And B, I'm not the most, when I'm outside for a certain amount of time, I start to just melt. So I'm concerned about that. And I'm concerned about the fact that how am I going to get the attention of like 200 drunk people floating around in the pool? So Curtis did me a huge favor. I mean, he put on his National Lampoon Vacation Marty the Moose hat and a vacation T-shirt
and the mug.
And the Marty Moose mug, beer mug, which that might be the most popular thing here this week is the glass. You must have had about 24 beers out of that alone yesterday.
Yeah, and the staff, whenever they would go to refill it, I think all of them wanted to hold it. I mean, it was like I could have sworn I saw them taking their picture with it. I don't know, but yeah, they thought it was. I don't believe any of them knew what that was from, but they thought it was. I think they suspected it was for Moosehead beer or something like that.
Yeah. In fact, someone said that, and we were like, no, Marty Moose. And that didn't help.
Right.
So beforehand, I have all these questions written down, and I've been planning for months with all my questions. But right before I left Florida, I was getting a little skeptical and starting to second guess my question choices. So I know this pretty amazing woman at my office who's like the queen of trivia contests. She's also a super fan of the 80s. Her name is Cindy, and she's the copy chief at my company. So not only was I pretty sure she was the right one to review my work, but I also know she would, as a side bonus, she would catch any errors in my questions, which she did, by the way, because one of our slides had it said Heather Locklear for Fall Guy, and she's like, no, that's Heather Thomas. Heather Thomas. So she caught that error, and I think she caught another one too. But anyway, one of the things that she had said were that the questions were too boy-centric. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, oh, man. So for the pool session, I figured I had a chance to change things around. So because I didn't have to change any slides. So I took a question that was about the movie Six Pack, and I changed it into a question about the movie Heathers. So that helped. So there's a favorite, because women love Heathers, or so I hear. And then I changed the song challenge from Duran Duran to Berlin. So I tried to make it a little bit more female friendly. And I gave her credit on the stage. So there you go. So it went out fairly well. We did our questions, and then literally the second I finished, boom, the skies open up, it starts raining.
Oh yeah,
and then
perfect timing.
Yeah, and then Curtis and I went to the bar and spent the next 4 hours talking about how successful we were.
Yeah, you didn't mention the reenactment of the Breakfast Club scene.
Oh my God! So one of the things that we always do for our trivia shows is we always do a participation challenge. And day one, I think it was the Three Amigos salute. Day two, it was do the truffle shuffle from the Goonies. Yesterday, it was put on lipstick the way Molly Ringwald does in The Breakfast Club. So it took a while. And this time we remembered to bring the lipstick, which we didn't do on the cruise. So we finally somebody came forward and did it. And so somebody won. So we have one participation challenge left, which, we can tell people what it is.
I'm keeping that lipstick forever, by the way.
Good. I don't need it. So tomorrow's participation challenge is, I have an inflatable sword that I found online. So you have to come up to the front and lift the inflatable sword and say what He-Man does when he lifts the sword of power. So I don't think anyone's going to have any trouble with that. I just like to say inflatable sword over and over again.
Yeah, we had a couple of He-Men at the costume contest last night.
Nice.
Well, I'm sorry. No, it was...
No, I think it was He-Man, because I saw him talk about it online, saying if anybody wants my He-Man chest protector.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Thundar the Barbarian for some reason. Was it He-Man and She-Ra?
Yeah.
Okay,
exactly.
Okay, right. All right.
So anyway, there's 2 nights left. Tonight we have Night Ranger and Winger. Curtis scored an invite to meet and greet with Winger, so he gets to meet his hero and get his CD signed. Tomorrow night, Friday night, we have Animotion, New Shoe, Stacey Q, The Motels, and Jody Watley. Like I said, Saturday morning we'll fly home. We already know, though, the lineup for the 2018 version of 80s in the Sand. It's been announced here. Here's who's been confirmed so far. Taylor Dane, The Romantics, John Waite, Midnight Star, Dave Wakeling, Sebastian Bach, and Brett Michaels. And I don't know if tickets are already on sale on the website or not, but if they're not, they will be real soon. And it's going to be back here in Punta Cana at the Breathless Resort, and the neighboring resort, Anx, I think, is also hosting it. So it's like double the size next year. So in the meantime, we'll be back with our regular slate of shows. I know Brad's got a show already geared up to run this Sunday. It'll be our interview with ourselves, actually, from Galen DC interview Stuck in the 80s. So that'll be fun. In the meantime, Curtis and I remain here in Punta Cana, sweaty, but still stuck in the 80s.